Welcome to Vishwa Shanti Darshan channel. The inspiring force behind this channel is revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath G. Karad sir. On the occasion of 10th World Parliament of Science, Religion, Spirituality and Philosophy on 3rd to 5th October 2024 this year, many eminent personalities were present to share their thoughts. This World Parliament was organized at the world's largest dome, named as Philosopher Saint Shri Dnyaneshwara World Peace Dome. It is said to be a spiritually oriented scientific laboratory. Honorable Indu Ramchandani expressed her views in one of the sessions. She has recently written a book titled as Genome to Om. She is also a noted writer and philosopher. This book is written along with Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan, former chairman, University Grants Commission, UGC. Let's know from her all about the concept of Genome to Om. Welcome to Vishwa Shanti Darshan channel. Today we have with us Honorable Indu Ramchandani Madam ji, who is writer, philosopher. Madam has written one book along with Honorable Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan ji, that is Genome to Om. So we would like to know about the book and the thoughts behind the book.
The book has been quite revolutionary for me, and working with Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan has been a great experience. We always think that science and philosophy and spirituality cannot meet. They're like two poles apart. We feel that the philosophy of science and philosophy and spirituality don't have a meeting ground. They actually, if you look at it, science looks for empirical evidence, it looks outside at the world outside, and philosophy and spirituality are looking at the person within. So one thinks that there is no synergy. And here at this wonderful World Parliament, you're actually talking of a synthesis of these subjects. So they're not merely subjects, but they are individual experiences. What we have worked on in this book is just this, that are we looking at science alone? Because science looks at the world outside, and those discoveries are used in technology. They give us gadgets which again use our purpose, our individual purpose. Whereas we are looking at the individual within, there is no scientific proof, but the greatest proof there is personal experience, direct experience. And scientists kind of are a little skeptical about this concept. They say it is imaginary, it is euphoric, it's a belief system, but it is not actually proven. How can you prove an experience? When you've had it, it's a reality for you, right? So scientists also, when they do their research, when they finally discover something, they have that eureka moment. They have discovered something, right? So then it is real for them. So as an individual, if you discover something within yourself, it's real for you. So you can't question it. And here what we have looked at in this book is that we have talked about what science has given us. And today, university is trying to ban AI because students are using ChatGPT to write their essays, right? So
I think technology and all the skills, they'll go hand in hand, and definitely student will benefit from technology like AI.
Exactly. So when you're talking of value-based education here, where do these values come from? Traditionally, as our Indian knowledge systems give us, the values came from the guru and from the parents, who were also gurus. Today, I'm sorry to say, the values are being borrowed, right? And since the values are all based on what I want, what is for me and mine, they're selfish. So where does the universality come in? It cannot. Today we have a war raging in the Middle East, which could easily become a third world war. In India, this is where women have advanced so much that they are walking shoulder to shoulder with men. But look at the way they're being violated. Look at the crimes against women. So where are the values? You have an institute like this and you're talking of the synergy of these various things. The values have to come from within. And it's only when I realize who I am, why am I here? What is my purpose of being here? Why was I born? And to accept that ultimately I have to die, this body has to go, Do I realize that I'm something more than the body? Or am I just here to decorate the body, look at my mind and say I'm intelligent, get more degrees, get more qualifications? For what purpose? So unless we have the purpose of our life very clearly understood and indicated to us, I think we are diversifying ourselves even more.
Right.
We are not unifying ourselves.
This book, Genome to Om, explores the desired transition from modern science to meta-science, blending ethical, moral, and spiritual insights while recognizing the interconnectedness of all aspects of life. It emphasizes a holistic scientific approach, talking of the marvels of science and technology. MIT World Peace University is also spreading the novel message in the book. Let's hear from Honorable Indu Ramchandani ji more about the clarion call for this World Peace Parliament. As you rightly said, clarion call for this parliament is will the humanity will able to see the end of the 21st century? Is what will happen in the next 80, 90 years?
Ecologically, they've already said that this is the 6th mass extinction, right? The kind of species, the animal species that have gone, they're never going to come back, right? The kind of vegetation that has been burnt and destroyed is not going to grow again. So what are we talking about? On the one hand, we're talking of a century which may not, there may not be any humanity left. On the other hand, we're talking of crossing space. We have crossed space. We are wanting to settle in Mars. We're wanting to settle in the moon. Where is this all coming from? It's coming from if it's driven by self-interest, if it's driven by the quest for prosperity, name and fame, then we are on the wrong track. Whereas if we are going to be driven by understanding who we are, then our society will extend from my nuclear family to the extended family, to my community, to my city, my country, and global. And what we are looking at, it may sound utopian, but what we are looking at is that we have to move towards that goal. We're looking at a kind of a meta society, and this is what we are calling in this book the Om way.
What are the contents of this book and how we will actually imbibe all these values through this book?
When you go through this book, you will find that initially we have looked at science and what we have discovered till today. And that, of course, by the time the book went into printing, there were many more discoveries which will carry on. We've also talked of the perils of those same discoveries, where we have stood because of those discoveries, not because the discoveries are at fault, it's the use.
Right.
It's actually misuse which have led to the perils. And when we came to that point, both Bhushanji and I said it's time to step back and realize, how did this world begin? How did this universe start? So we've looked at the cosmos, we've looked at the creation, we've looked at how do we as human beings come here, right? And so we've talked of it from the genomic point of view and also from the Om perspective, that this entire journey has one unifying principle, that's the universal reality. And when we talk of universal reality, and we are not talking of religion, we are talking of a spiritual perspective. Because as Swami Vivekananda has said, every individual is divine. But Swami Vivekananda also said, a nation that does not respect its women cannot grow. Right? So where are we? This dichotomy is what we have talked about.
So we need to balance all these things,
Right.
Technology at one hand and
Technology and its use.
And its use.
So why would we use technology? Of course I need it for my benefit, I need it for my purpose, but at the same time, I also need to know what is it doing to others, what is it doing to our environment, right? So we have to have at every micro level of our growth, as individuals, look at society. And if we look at society, we cannot have differences. This is the difference between religion and spirituality. We've talked about that. We've also talked about the mind. Well, there was an interesting question in one Vedanta lecture I was listening to early this morning from the Vedanta Society of New York, where Shri M was asked this question, where is the mind? And we have discussed this as to what do neurologists say, what do doctors say, and where do we stand, what do we understand about the mind? We know it's a process where thoughts come and go, since we don't even know what our thoughts are, since we cannot control them, do we have any idea what goes on within us? And we are so concerned about what's going on outside. So first, this search within to know who we are, the purpose of why we are here. Because once I know who I am and I know my purpose, I would walk carefully. I would be very careful about what I say, what I do all around myself on a day-to-day basis, moment-to-moment basis. And that's when we talk about unified unity in diversity. We are talking about a system, a meta-society, just like we've talked about meta-science, we're talking about the synergy of human beings coming together. And that's the value-based education you're talking about.
I think the book Genome to Om is widely covering all the things, right, from science to spirituality, from the cosmos to what actually needed to actually hand over to this generation, and what they should read and how they should actually use all these things and move forward. Thank you very much, madam, for talking with us. Thank you.